You alright, mate? How are you doing today?
Yes, Ali, what's good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Welcome back to the Chinwag podcast for a second Premier League predictions video.
Yeah. Hopefully it's better than the last one.
Let's hope so. So, without further ado, we're going to do the full table. We've got a few different categories that I messaged you about.
Yeah.
So, we're going to start off with the relegated teams again. So, I want you to go from 20th to 18 in your order. Okay. So, what are those?
I've gone for all three newly promoted teams. I've gone Bournemouth in 20th, Nottingham Forest in 19th, and Fulham 18th.
So that's interesting. I've got Forest at 20th,
Yeah.
Bournemouth at 19th,
Yeah.
and I've got Southampton at 18th.
Okay.
And we'll get onto Fulham in a bit,
Yeah.
because obviously I've not predicted them to go down, and you have. So why do you think all three of the promoted teams are going down?
I don't think that the three that have come up comparatively, like the last year we had Brentford who made an instant impact, and before that we've had Sheffield United, we've had Wolves, Leeds. I don't think any of those three are at that level, and I don't think the business they've done takes them far enough clear.
It's interesting because I have Southampton to go down.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm predicting Southampton to go down is because their transfer business may seem kind of smart, but at the same time they've got players like Bazunu and signing players that will not get the chance that, for example, like Man City.
Yeah.
They had Breuer last year from Chelsea, but they've not like re-signed him or anything. So I'm thinking their transfer business, I know, again, I shouldn't focus on the transfer business because that could be a rookie error. But I just think they've played their luck a little bit too much in the last few years.
Yeah.
So I do think Southampton will get relegated. And Bournemouth started well, obviously. Who did they beat again? First day of the season? Villa, was it?
Yeah.
Was it Villa? But yeah, Kiefer Moore got a debut goal in the Prem. But yeah, I think Forest, they're making many signings, but again, we're not going to focus much on
I think the issue with our predictions last year was, I think we put too much emphasis on the new guys and what might happen. So I'm going to stick with it. I think it doesn't happen often when all three teams go down. It could be a cop out, but I don't see it this year. Interesting though, you'll see when I've got who I've put in 17th.
Right. So I saw a stat on BBC Sport with if it was Danny Murphy or something, saying less than half of the teams that get promoted stay up. So like 10 years ago it was like 60%. Now it's like 42%. So it'll be interesting. So who have you got from 17th to 13th? Who have you got in 17th?
So 17th I've got Southampton.
Okay.
So I agree with you. I do think they're going to
So
struggle.
where did you have Fulham?
18th.
I had Fulham. I've got Fulham 17th.
So we swapped them two. Yeah. So it's interesting. I think we both think they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
I think. And then I've got Everton in 16th, Brentford in 15th, Leeds in 14th, and then Villa in.
No way. I've got Everton 16th, Brentford 15th, Leeds in 14th. That's mad. So we're either going to be so like gassed at the end of the season, or both of us just going to have a mare.
We did not speak about these either. No. Like this is completely legit.
Yeah. So Fulham staying up. I think they've upgraded in a few key positions. In goal was one, because who started at the weekend was Kodak or something.
Yeah.
And they got Leno, they got Mbabu, Palhinha, Pereira. Mitrovic has scored 2 goals already, and they did well against Liverpool. So I do think they'll stay up, not just because they drew to Liverpool, but because I think Marco Silva is a good manager, and I think he can keep them up. With Everton, Brentford and Leeds, we've gone for the same. So why do you think Everton will finish 16th and the other two teams as well?
I don't rate Frank Lampard. I don't think he's good enough, and the squad isn't good enough. I mean, they've lost their talisman in Richarlison. I don't think they've done anything to replace him. I don't think Dwight McNeil is the replacement that they needed. And they've got such a lack of depth.
I saw Alex Iwobi starting centre midfield as well.
Yeah, I think he's kind of moved back into centre midfield. And do you know what? He works hard, but is he the kind of player that's going to get you into that sort of mid-table? No.
Yeah, so Brentford in 15th. So I think Brentford finished 15th because, I don't know, second season syndrome.
Agreed.
But I was debating whether to put them at 15th or if they would get relegated. But because I think that Thomas Frank's a really good manager.
Yeah.
And they got like the know-how of the Premier League now, and they're bringing in Damsgaard as well. Dalsgaard.
Damsgaard, yeah. What was it? Was it the Euros when
Danish,
he looked really good? So
they've not lost Tony, they've not lost Mbuemo.
Yeah, I agree. I think second season syndrome a little bit. They'll struggle more, but I think they've got enough.
They brought in Strakosha from was it Lazio, but will he be a backup?
I know Raya will be the first choice.
Yeah. But they got a decent team. I think 15th they'll take that.
Staying up like 100%, and then I think Leeds will be something similar. They'll still be in danger, but I think if Bamford can stay fit for the season, yes, they've lost Phillips, yes, they've lost Rafinha, but I think they've replaced quite well.
Yeah.
Jesse Marsh has gone with what he knows in American
Tyler
people
Adams,
that he's worked with before. Yes,
Mark Rocker's a good deal for them as well. So
I think they'll do all right, but I do think they'll be in that relegation battle for most of the season.
So, completing the bottom half of the table, 13th to 11th, who have you got in 13th?
13th, I've gone Villa.
Right.
Then 12th, I've gone Wolves.
Right.
And 11th, I've gone Crystal Palace.
That's mad. That's mad. 13th, I got Palace.
Yeah.
12th, I've got Wolves.
Yeah.
11th, I've got Villa.
Do you know what? This is good though, because last year we were very different for quite a lot. And it didn't go well for either of us. Let's hope that this year, because we're a lot more similar, that we've got it nailed on.
So why have you got... Do you not think Villa will finish higher up with the... So just tell me why you got Villa in 13th.
I think Villa have done good business, but I just have a feeling that stuff's not quite right. I mean, you've got Tyrone Mings has been stripped of the captaincy and he's not playing, and he's been a stalwart of the club for so long.
I don't rate Mings anyway.
I think he's been all right, but he's been such a solid player. It's similar with Wolves and Connor Cody. I did not see that coming. But I just don't... I do rate Gerrard, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the maximum out of these players.
I don't rate Gerrard. He's got the same record as Gary Neville, I think.
I did see that, to be fair. Yeah, I did see that.
With the team that he has, I know opening days of the season is not everything, but how can you have this Villa team? They started with Diego Carlos, and they got Matty Cash at the back. How can you, and Emi Martinez and goal? How can you lose to Bournemouth on the opening day of the season?
So why have you gone 11th then? Why are they as high as 11th?
Because I think the players will see that through. Rather than Gerrard.
You think Gerrard will be the first manager to go?
I don't know if he'll be the first to go, but I reckon he will go. He won't finish the season with Villa.
Interesting.
I got Palace.
Yeah.
So I think Palace will do quite well. They've got rid of some players that I think Odsonne Edouard will kick on this year.
Yeah.
I think the partnership of Gahey and Anderson is really, really good. I feel with their right back situation, they've got Klein and Joel Ward. I feel they might need to upgrade on that if they want to finish higher. But Mitchell on the left, for left back, Tyreek Mitchell. I think Palace. They're a good team. They're a decent team against Arsenal.
They did look really good. Honestly, they did look really good. On another day, I think they definitely could have got a point.
Guy, Czech Decore, he seems quite good, right. Comfortable.
I think he'll take a bit to get used to, I think, the physicality of it. But on the whole, I was quite impressed, really, with Palace. And I think Patrick Vieira has a good group, and he seems to have the support of everyone at the club. Surprise, surprise, Vieira is clear of Gerrard and Lampard.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. I got in 12th. We both have Wolves.
Yeah.
So why do you think Wolves are finishing 12th?
I know they're trying a new system this year. They're trying to go 4 at the back, play a little bit more attacking. I don't think that necessarily looked amazing in the first round of games.
Rash when you came for that cross.
I think he has his moments. I think it will be a very up and down year. I think they're going to get some brilliant results, and then I think at the same time they're going to get some absolute horrible results. I would back one of the promoted teams to beat them, and then soon after they'll go and beat one of the big 6.
I agree, but their centre backs they brought in Nathan Collins. They lost Cody. They've got Bolly and Kilman. I don't know if
they got rid of Seiss as well.
To Besiktas. Knowledge. But their centre back depth isn't great, but their midfielders, I think Neves is staying, so that will give them a boost. And Moutinho, because they're really important to them.
Yeah.
But they just signed Gonzalo Guedes from Valencia.
That's a big signing.
That is big signing for them.
It'll be interesting to see. They've got a lot of good wingers.
Have they got Adama back?
Yes, yeah. Barcelona.
Is he gonna play?
Probably not.
No.
The fact that they were so eager to get rid of him in the first place. But they do have a lot of good wingers. I think now they've got Guedes, they've got Neto, Pedence.
Didn't Chiquinho injured?
Chiquinho looked good in the limited minutes that he had previously as well. So I think they will cause teams problems, but they will also get some horrendous results.
So moving to the top 10, I find it incredible that we have the same exact teams in the bottom half.
Yeah,
So,
well, let's hope that it is actually, accurate come the end of the
in
season.
10th to 8th, not qualifying for Europe. In 10th to 8th, who have you got?
10th, I've gone Brighton.
See, I've not predicted Brighton to go down this year. I was going to because after the first day they annoyed me after they beat Man United. But the new Man United shirt I have, well, it's not new, but it's a
classic.
It's a classic shirt. When I was 11, that's an 11-year-old shirt. So that's very
old school. That's a Ronaldo original, isn't it?
I think so.
AIG.
I think so. But anyway, 10th you have Brighton.
10th Brighton. I've got West Ham in 9th and Leicester in 8th.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I got Leicester in 10th, Brighton in 9th, and West Ham in 8th.
It's the same three teams.
Yo, that's mad. That's mad.
Okay.
So let's go with mine first. So Leicester I've got in 10th because they have lost Kasper Schmeichel. I would have put them higher maybe, but Schmeichel's a really important part of their team, and now they've got Danny Ward in goal, and I don't know, are they going? I've seen he's taken the number 1 shirt.
Yes.
But are they going to replace him with someone else? Are they going to lose Tielemans? I saw Ricardo get injured, and are they going to lose anyone else? Was it?
I know Newcastle wanted Maddison.
Oh,
and they got bid in Fofana and Chelsea.
Oh yeah, Fofana as well. But they've not made any signings. So why have you placed them higher than 10th?
I think a lot of it does. Obviously, we're filming this in the midweek of the first round of games. So we've seen the first round. We haven't seen anything else. Obviously, there's 3 weeks left of the window, 4 weeks left of the window. But it heavily depends on what they get done. I think the squad that they have right now is good enough for them to come in 8th. With Maddison, with Vardy, with Harvey Barnes when he comes back, Tielemans and Didi, the defence. I do think they will struggle more. Previous years, they've been up there fighting for 4th. I don't think they're going to be at that level because they've lost players.
Do you think Vardy should be put, not to one side, but like playing less games because they've got Daka?
Yeah, I think he'll naturally be phased out, but he is such a crucial part of the team. I think it's a lot easier said than done. And I think if ever Daka or Iheanacho go a couple of games without scoring, it'll be very easy to just go back to Vardy. So I think he'll still get a lot of time. He seems quite fit at his age anyway.
Yeah. So in 9th you had Brighton, right?
In 9th I've got West Ham.
Okay. So then in 8th you had
Leicester. I got Brighton.
Oh, you had Brighton in 10th.
Yeah.
All right. Let's discuss about Brighton. So go on then.
So I feel like with Brighton, I could have put them slightly higher. I just think Graham Potter is so good. You look at their team, and their team does not deserve to be where they are. Particularly, again, they've lost Basuma, who was such an important part of their team. Last year, they lost Ben White. They've also lost Cucurella. But they just still look so strong. I mean, he's getting good performances consistently out of people like Danny Welbeck, who, United, he is that guy. But Arsenal and United both tried for years, and he was so hot and cold. But I just think the system they've got, the manager they've got, it's enough, and I think they'll scrape it.
I feel they don't have a like-for-like replacement for Bissouma, but I think his name's Enoch Mwepu.
They've got Caicedo, I think.
Yeah, Caicedo and Mwepu, who can play like midfield, defensive midfield. And Mwepu looks good, Caicedo looks good. So, yeah, I agree with you. Like, Graham Potter's a class manager.
He has to. I think we said this last year. He has to be on the list. If one of the sort of top 8 managers gets sacked, even if Leicester get rid of Rodgers, surely he's got to be on the list. Yeah,
I'll take him at United. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, we're not talking about United yet. West Ham, I have 8th, and you had them 9th. So I think West Ham will finish 8th. I was going to predict them higher, but they've got UEFA Conference League football.
Yeah.
So and they've strengthened a little bit, but their still squad depth isn't great. So they've got Cornet now on a great deal of like 17.5 mil. The Agued guy, I don't know.
Agard or whatever it is.
Scamacca to provide backup for
yeah.
Antonio. So you predicted Bowen last year. No, we didn't. Bowen last year was the one of the standout players.
Yeah.
So do you think he can do that form again?
I think so. I think what they've got with Scamacca looks like more of a kind of target man, in a similar kind of mould to Antonio, who might drop a little bit deeper and Bowen can run in behind. Cornet's a good signing. Like, I think they've done sensible business. I don't think it's business that's going to push them into the top 6. It's not that good. But it is good business. So they're there or thereabouts.
So in 7th, I got Newcastle.
Yes, same.
Right, okay. But why?
Because I really like their business. Even last season, during the season, getting Bruno Guimaraes in January was brilliant. I think he's one of the best players outside of the top 6.
I think he is one. Yeah, defo. He's one of the best.
He's so good. Nick Pope, I'm a big fan. He will win them points on his own. They've got reliable signings like Matt Targett, who will just put in a solid 7 out of 10 every week. I really like their business, and I think it's sensible. They're not overspending. And Eddie Howe, I think, is another one of those really good young managers.
Eddie Howe has signed a new long-term deal at Newcastle, but I think if Newcastle can get a right winger and maybe another centre midfielder, I don't think they'll go higher than 7th, but they'll push who I've got in 6th to get more, because currently they've got Fraser and Almiron on the right, and that's not. That's okay, like decent Premier League standard. But I say Maximin, not doing it by himself, but like it's more predictable if you just play it to Sir Maximin. So yeah, Newcastle with Botman as well. Don't forget him.
Oh yeah, Botman, and it will depend on what they go and do in the rest of the window and January.
We'll do a transfer episode as well.
If they were to get Maddison, for example, that would be huge.
That would be big. But moving on to 6th and 5th, I have Man United in 6th.
Yep.
And Chelsea in 4th.
Yeah.
So 5th, not 4th. Chelsea in 5th.
Chelsea in 5th, same.
So it's the same old rubbish.
Yeah.
It's the same old rubbish with Man United. Like, how are McFred starting still in 2022-23 season under Ten Hag?
I think every Man United fan and every football fan has been saying it for years, but somehow it still keeps happening. Get
McTominay out the window. I know he's an academy product. He's like 25 now. He's our age. Yeah.
This is the thing. I don't think he's bad as a squad player. If you need him as extra legs in the last 15 minutes, you've got 5 subs now. He is not a starting player for a top 6 team. It's the same with Fred. I don't think Fred had a bad year last year, but we're saying, that was good for Fred.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a great
when you
season.
said he's worth 50p?
Yeah. As I said at the end of the season, maybe he's worth £50 now. But I don't see the business that United have done. I think they've overpaid for Martinez. Let's see. He could be a good deal, but 60 odd million for him is a stretch. Eriksen's probably decent business, but I don't know where he fits because he is a not so good version of Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I feel we shouldn't have signed Eriksen because then we could play more Donny van der Beek.
Yeah.
But now
it's like you let Mata go and you've bought in Eriksen, who is an upgrade, but Mata never played.
Yeah. So it's like the Pogba replacement basically. Eriksen.
Yeah, well, we'll come to that because you've got one lined up.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. Yeah. But yeah, we're talking about that. I saw us agreed a deal with Rabiot. But I've seen his mum is his agent and and like his attitude problems.
I am not a fan of that. I really hope United get him. I'm not a fan of that at all, and I think that's going to be brilliant because if he's the one that you're trusting your entire midfield to, I'm sorry, you're.
Thanks for swearing.
That's all right. You're welcome. I just wanted to give you some extra editing.
But okay. What else? Man United we signed Malacia. We let Tellers go. Will that make a big difference? No. Still got Maguire. So no. Okay. Moving on to 5th, Chelsea. It's a bit of turmoil at Stamford Bridge. I feel. letting Lukaku go. They now let Werner go back to Leipzig.
Yeah.
And they got no like out and out number 9.
I do think that's not been spoken about enough. You look at the combined transfer fees of those two were over 150 million, and they've let Lukaku go out on loan, and they've got 20 million for Werner. That is a horrendous return.
Like they got slapped up by Arsenal in pre-season. Again, pre-season's not everything, but you don't want to get slapped up by your like rivals.
No. And the worrying thing was Tuchel came out afterwards and said, "We're not ready mentally. We're not ready physically." That's the more concerning thing for me, is that the manager has no belief in it.
But I saw their back three and looked, and as Azpilicueta signed a new 2-year deal, I think.
Yeah.
They had Thiago Silva still, and they've signed Koulibaly.
Yeah.
So that's good for them. Did they sign? What left back did they sign?
Cucurella.
Oh yeah. They signed Cucurella from Brighton, and they got rid of Alonso. They're trying to get rid of Alonso.
Yeah, which looks like that will happen. I don't think the business they've done is bad, and I think it will be very close between 5th and 4th. I think United will be a bit of a way back in 6th, but I just don't. Obviously, Raheem Sterling is a really good player for them to get involved, but you're looking at their attacking depth, and I don't think there's a lot. You're looking at Pulisic, who could get injured at any moment. Ziyech they don't want.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you've got the starting 3, Sterling, Havertz and Mount, and not a lot else.
Yeah.
And then even in midfield, I don't think Jorginho and Kante and Kovacic.
I would like to see Conor Gallagher get more games, but I don't think he will. He'll sit on the bench, or he might go out on loan.
I just think they're gonna have a good year. It's not gonna be a great year. I think Tuchel might.
But it's good. Is 5th good for Chelsea though?
Yeah, fair. I think it's one of them. It'll be so close that if they do start to fall away a little bit, it'll be interesting to see what the new owners are like. Obviously, Abramovich was very itchy trigger.
Yeah.
As soon as any struggled, boom.
So in 4th and 3rd, sorry, who have you got?
I've got Arsenal in 4th.
Yeah, me too.
I just think that I've got Tottenham in 3rd.
Yeah.
And I think that what Tottenham have, it's the manager for me. I don't think everyone's talking about Tottenham's window being amazing. I think Arsenal have had a better window than Tottenham.
Interesting.
But the manager, Conte, is a world-class manager. He is on the same level as Klopp and Guardiola.
Yeah.
And I think will get them over.
I feel Arsenal have had a really good window. They needed players in the positions like Zinchenko. Saliba's now back. Who else have they signed?
Jesus.
Oh yeah,
is the big one.
Oh yeah.
Who I think he'll be a proper game changer. Even do you know what? One that slept on a little bit because he got injured when he joined us, because of course he did, was Fabio Vieira. He's come from Portugal. I think he's going to have a really good season.
I can't speak on that. I've never seen this guy play.
It's one of those where I think we've done some really, really good business, but it's either the Man City reject line or these unheard of players.
But I saw Jesus has always been a good player.
Yeah.
But he can't. I won't say he can't shine. But at City, there's so many other players like him, slightly better than him. So he doesn't shine as much. But now he's like the main man. Yeah. Can he handle the pressure of being the main man?
I think. I mean, I watched Arsenal's first game, and I don't want to put too much on that because last year that didn't go very well for us. Yeah. But he looked really sharp. He didn't score, but he looked incredibly sharp, and he could have easily got involved in at least a couple of goals. I'm backing us to have a pretty good season. I am back in love with my team, which I haven't been for I don't know how many years, like properly excited to watch them play. Yeah. I think we'll have a good year. I think it'd be annoying that even our best year, Tottenham will still beat us, but I think that's credit. I think Tottenham will have a really good year as well.
Yeah, same with Tottenham's signings, right? They've signed like Perisic, who Jed Spence. Mm-hmm. They've got Romero back from the loan that they had, and again Conte's the class manager. They got Richarlison and Kulusevski battling out for that right spot because Son and Kane aren't getting dropped.
Locked,
Bissouma. So now they've got Bentancur, Højbjerg, Bissouma fighting for. Have they got another one in there? I think another midfielder. Bentancur, Højbjerg, Bissouma. I know they got another one. I can't think. No, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. In battling up for the midfield, so I do think Spurs will finish third and have a really good season.
I do, yeah, they'll have a good year. Do you know what it will be with Tottenham is if they can win a cup competition, that'll be it for them.
Yeah.
That'll be their big thing. If they come third and they don't win anything, then I'll be interested to see what Conte does because he's a winner and Tottenham aren't.
Right, yeah, I agree. First and second, who do you got winning the league?
I have City winning the league.
I have Liverpool winning the league.
Interesting. So probably the biggest choice.
Yeah.
We've differed. Go on then, Liverpool. Why?
It's more of hope that Man City don't have 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Obviously.
It's lose for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's not great, is it? But I just feel Liverpool will be so hungry to get that title back. I know they've not started the best against Fulham, but I think Nunes, I know Haaland will probably battle Nunes for like the top scorer, be the top scorer, sorry. But I think Nunes signing is good, really good. I know they lost Mane, but Diaz and Jota they've got as not the backup, but like to replace him.
Yeah.
They've kept their main core of players, and I think they'll do. I hope and I think the way they play, they'll be more hungry to win that title than Man City that won it the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think for me, it's City are typically slow starters, and then once they get into their rhythm, they are just unstoppable. And against West Ham, they weren't slow. They didn't start slow, and that's a bit of a concern because if they're starting that quickly, and Pep said they were slow, they weren't good in the Community Shield, they were slow, they weren't completely ready. If that's them when they're not completely ready, I think it's scary to see what they could become with Haaland still learning the system. I think there's going to be very, very close. I think both teams will be around 100 points.
Yeah. I think Liverpool and Man City will go clear or third and fourth.
Yeah, again, I think they're just a step above. They're two of the best teams in Europe, not even just in England, in the whole of Europe.
I agree, but we've one of us will be laughing.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Can you imagine
not.
if someone else came through?
Yeah, imagine Man United won the league. I'll be.
Well, I mean, come on, stop doing that.
Yeah, I've got different categories for you and myself as well to go through. So, who do you think the top scorer is going to be?
I am not making the same mistake I made last year. Okay. I'm not going to place too much on a new signing. Okay. I'm going to stick with a tried and trusted Salah. Mo Salah is going to do it again.
Yeah, I was going to choose Salah, but I've gone for Kane. Because I think Spurs will finish third, and Spurs, again, we said this last year, everything will finish at Kane mainly. Mm-hmm. His relationship with Son, I think, will make him the top scorer, as he'll score so many important goals for them as well. Yeah. And when they win 3 or 4-0, he'll bag 2. Yeah. I know he didn't score in the first game, but again, it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think Kane. So you think Salah?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that we've both gone two trusted Premier League proven attackers. I think they'll both be in the conversation. I do think Haaland will be there. Nunes could be as well. It depends how much game time he gets. I think the big thing that Kane and Salah have is that they will be starting pretty much every game.
Yeah, I agree. So the young player of the year. So under 21s.
Yeah, so they have to be under 21 at the start of the season.
And who have you gone for?
Well, there really wasn't a lot of choice. I was looking up so many players. Yeah. Kulusevski's too old. Haaland's too old. Foden's even too old. So I was left with 2 players. I was left with 2 Arsenal players.
Well, Smith Rowe and Saka?
No, Saka and Saliba.
Oh.
But I don't think a defender typically gets it. So I've gone with Saka.
I have gone with Saka.
Yeah, I think he was robbed last year. Yeah. It shouldn't have been Foden. I mean, I was happy I got the prediction right. It shouldn't have been Foden. It should have been Saka. I think he'll do it again this year.
I think Saka has come on a lot. I'm not going to lie, I just thought he was washed at the start of last year. Not because he had missed a penalty. I just thought he wasn't again, he's really, really young, and I thought he was making... I'm seeing how bad Arsenal were, and I was kind of enjoying how bad Arsenal were and enjoying the demise of Arsenal. But Saka he's a baller.
He is a baller, and he takes responsibility. I think that's the main thing. If we're struggling, he'll look for the ball rather than hide.
He can go either way as well, left foot, right foot,
Yeah,
go to the
and-
byline, anything.
I think he'll have another good year. He's got a lot better players around him now as well, and I think that will only help.
Your overachievers.
Purely based on the squad that they've got, I'm going to go with Brighton. I think the squad they've got are a team that should be finishing 15th and below.
Yeah.
But because of the manager they've got and the system that they've got, I think, as I said, top 10 is achievable. So I think that's why they'll overachieve.
I've gone with Fulham because everyone's predicting them to get relegated.
fair.
And I know I've predicted them in 17th, but again, that's not getting relegated.
Staying up.
So I do think Fulham will stay up with the players that they've signed. Again, it's not all about the signings, but I do think Marco Silva is a good manager, and if they can utilise Mitrovic, because he bullied Van Dijk, and if he can do that to Van Dijk, I'm not saying he can do that to every single person, every single game, but he will get between 10 to 15 goals.
Yeah, I think so much does rely on Mitrovic at Fulham. Previous years in the Prem, he struggled. If he's learned from that, they could do it.
So underachievers next.
I think this is quite straightforward. I think it's United. I think the money they spend in wages, it's Man United. They should be top 4 at least every year. Ten Hag is supposed to be the chosen one, just like Ranić was the chosen one, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the chosen one. I just think they should be doing better than they are.
I've got United, but I put United/Everton because the expectation on Everton fans is that they're a big club. They should be finishing in like the European spots. But Lampard, I don't rate him as a manager.
Yeah, I can see that. Everton fighting relegation is definitely underperforming. So
100%.
yeah, they're in that.
The best signing, I think the best signing, I categorise this in my head as how important will this person be to their team?
Yeah.
And I think Sven Botman.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because if you see the Newcastle centre halves, they've got Cher, who's not bad. They've got Lascelles, who's not great. Fernandez, who's not good either.
Yeah.
And Botman is a huge upgrade, and he will surely bring the level of the person playing next to him up, and the defence up as well. I know they've got Trippier, who's a really good leader,
Yeah.
and I think Botman will raise the level of that centre back with
Very
him.
Interesting. You can tell Ali is a centre half. That's very much thinking
Make
defensively.
sure you watch the last match highlights where we beat FC Marlow 3-0. Yeah.
Yeah, little cameo.
Oh yeah.
I think my player that's similar to that, it's not the one I went with, but I thought about Basuma.
Oh yeah.
I think if he starts regularly for Tottenham,
Do you think he'll start regularly though?
I think he's an upgrade. I think Højbjerg and Bentancur are similar players. I think Basuma is the one that they should be playing next to. One of those two plus Basuma.
Yeah.
And if he plays regularly, I think he solidifies their midfield so much. But I've gone with Jesus. Maybe there's some bias. I think similar idea to you. Who will make the biggest difference? Yes, Haaland is going to be great. Núñez is going to be great. But those attacks are already insane.
Yeah.
The Arsenal attack last year was pretty toothless. I think Lacazette from January to the end of the season scored like 2 goals. And having Jesus now not just scoring goals, but in the build-up, how he presses, it changes the dynamic of the team.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think that is going to be a big factor this year.
Fair enough. So the last one is the worst signing. Again, in my head, I categorise this of where this person should be playing at what level, and I've gone Lingard. Have you?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Like he's gone from, he could have gone to West Ham and had European football, but he's gone to Forest, who we've predicted to go down.
Yeah.
He's not going to have much of the ball.
Nope.
He's going to get all the game time, but he still won't get like good quality game time because he'll just be chasing after the ball because Forest won't be keeping it.
Yeah.
And he's on what I read it was like
I saw
200k.
It was crazy.
Was it
money.
150 or
Yeah,
something,
it was
something like that.
crazy money.
So I think he should,
I think again I'm ribbing on Man United a little bit. I think Rabiot comes into this discussion purely on the basis that when that deal gets done, he is a worse version of Pogba in every single way. He's defensively not as good, physically not as good, skillful not as good, ball distribution not as good. He's not as much of an athlete, I don't understand that.
But are we not going to play him at DM and then put like Eriksen and Bruno? But I don't know.
This is what I'm saying is it doesn't make sense. I don't think he is the standard of player that Man United need when there are so many other options. But I do think Lingard still takes it. I think what you're paying for Lingard is you're paying for the moves. You're paying for the dance moves. Lingard is a 200 grand a week Michael Jackson tribute act. That is what he is doing. He's going to go there. He'll score 5 goals, do his dance moves, get his gifts out of it, and then he'll move when they get relegated.
He's only signed a 1-year deal as well.
But there we go. He's on 200 grand a week. They'll get relegated and he'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that'll be it. I don't think he's worth the money. I know people will point to what he did at West Ham. He's not replicating that.
Yeah.
100%. He's no chance replicating that. Waste of money, I think.
So yeah, I think we've agreed on quite a lot.
We have. Surprising. Maybe we're spending too much time together. Maybe we're spending too much time together.
That's a bad thing.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
But yeah, thank you for coming on the Chinwag podcast once again.
Pleasure, mate, as always. Hopefully it is better than last time, but you know.
Hopefully, and there'll be a transfer episode as well, which you have to come back on as well.
Absolutely.
If you did enjoy that episode, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, I'll see you later. One more. Lovely. Jubbly. Mate.
I put McNeil because I think McNeil's I had Lingard and McNeil, and then I was like, oh, Rabiot. But McNeil is just